look at websites that really work, one of the things that's very clear and very apparent, and we actually have it as a rule of thumb that is how you create great marketing, is when you get to the website, the customer that you're aiming at has an experience like a that's me moment. You know, if you're shopping for a minivan and a minivan commercial comes on TV, you have a that's me moment. You think, oh, that's me. I should pay attention to this. This is relevant to me personally. So when people get to your site, and you can do that by talking about who you are, you can do it by talking about your product, you can do it by talking about your customer. However you do it, the most effective strategy, or one of them, is that when they get to your site, they have a that's me experience. Where they go, oh, this is me, this is what I'm looking for, this is who I'm looking for, this is my problem. So you want to think through, how do you create that? Don't just throw a bunch of information. Put something on that site specifically so they can recognize themselves as belonging there.
What kind of things that you've seen in the past that have worked? Because you mentioned, talk about you or your product or maybe a story. Would that be a good way to get your customer to say, oh, that's me?
Yeah, you can do any of those things. On our website, the thing that we use is my problem is. And we literally have the current site. We have 6 different categories. My problem is sales. Well, if your problem is sales and you're trying to figure out how to get more sales, that's an immediate, oh, that's me. And it'll guide you to actually click through there, and then you'll find additional resources. Another one that I've seen that I loved was a construction company out in Maryland. They actually did some work for one of my good friends, and they had a very simple brochure place where you could go, and what you would see is examples and pictures like this subdivision that my friend lived in. They all had problems with their woodwork. So what you saw on their marketing materials was pictures of that woodwork with actual price estimates on how much it would cost to fix it. So immediately somebody looking at that is going to go, oh my gosh, this is me, this is my neighborhood, this is my house, this is my woodwork problem, and this is how much it would cost me to fix it.
Wow, that's a unique. I've never seen that before. That's a unique way of doing that, implementing that particular strategy.
Very smart, and you can also talk about yourself to create. You as the provider, or you as the product or service, right? Think about all those Ron Popeil commercials, right? Are you frustrated because chopping vegetables, and then you've got the little Chop-O-Matic, right? Well, if you're someone who's frustrated by chopping vegetables, that's going to create a that's me experience for you. So you've got to know what your clients, like what their experience is, but then you can start to look at ways that that's going to work for them. The second thing that you can look at is technically on your site, is it friendly to them, right? Or is it colors and a style that they're going to like? Are your customers very modern, very sleek, very technically savvy? Are they a little less technically savvy, right? A simple example is, are your clients old? If you work with an older group of clients, you need to have bigger fonts on your website. So those are some ideas about ways that you can subtly and not so subtly adapt what you've got on your website to make your clients feel really at home. You want to have something that creates a very direct, oh, this is me, this is something I'm interested in, this is a problem I have, this is a service I'm looking for, this is someone that I like. But then there are the subtle ones where they just simply feel comfortable because it's designed with them in mind.
And that is, again, something that would maybe be worth doing a focus group or getting feedback on your site, saying, to some current customers, hey, what did you like about my site? What didn't you like about my site?
Definitely. I mean, everything from how easy are your buttons. I've seen sites where the buttons are small, difficult to manage, where, you skim over a particular part of text and then a pop-up appears, but it disappears really quickly and it's jarring for people. So when you do ask for feedback, one of the recommendations I would have is be very specific about what you want to know. It's okay to ask a general question, what did you like, what did you not like? You'll sometimes get surprising and very useful responses. But you also want to be really specific. On a scale of 1 to 10, how easy are our buttons to navigate is a very different question than on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like our buttons, right? So if you really want to know how easy they are to navigate, ask how easy are they to navigate. to be very specific about what you want. You'll get much more useful feedback.
Okay, yeah,